Crystal is back and better than ever, as I recently experienced aboard the resurrected Crystal Symphony. Hey everyone, welcome to Popular Cruising. I am your host Jason Leppert, and today we've got an updated deck-by-deck review of the luxurious ship for you. Starting low on Deck 5 is the timeless Crystal Plaza Atrium and its surrounding front desk, concierge, and shore excursions area. Having sailed with Crystal since the line's first ever voyage on Crystal Harmony, I had a similar chance to cruise on Symphony during its 1995 inaugural season, so I recognized changes that have been made over the years, such as the removal of the helix element that used to sit in front of the cascading water fountain. From the very start, the luxury line's exceptional crew have been a standout, and that is absolutely still the case, being always friendly and attentive without ever being overbearing or pretentious. Off to the side here is also the future sales consultant, before transferring those bookings over to our recommended sponsor, Fairy Godmother Travel, who will magically take care of all your trip planning absolutely for free. So to get your complimentary quote, click on the link right here, or call the phone number, or message the email address below. Adjacent to the Central Plaza is also the Crystal Cove Bar and Lounge, where the luxury line's all-inclusive nature can first be enjoyed. And it's also where guests are entertained with wonderful live music, including during White Night festivities. By the way, if you haven't already done so, we invite you to please subscribe to our channel while hitting that notification bell. I must say this fan of film scores was overjoyed when the high-energy violinist began playing one of my favorites in the form of Hans Zimmer's Pirates of the Caribbean theme, prior to expert dancers taking to the stage, next welcoming passengers to join in. And since fine dining has always been a hallmark of Crystal, the White Night even showcased the serving of tasty canapes. As for the ship's main dining room, the waterside restaurant is available for included open seating meals in a chic atmosphere. The layout remains familiar, but as throughout the rest of the ship, soft finishes, carpeting, furnishings, and other fixtures have been enhanced under the line's new ownership. And dinners here are extraordinarily good, on par with the best specialty restaurants on other cruise lines. I was truly impressed with every dish I ordered here. And even room service on board elevates the likes of a classic Cobb salad and club sandwich to gourmet levels. Turning back to the Crystal Plaza to climb the suspended stairs up a deck reveals the traditional stained glass ceiling treatment. Crowning Deck 6, and the reprised Avenue of the Stars boutiques. Loyalists will appreciate the store names, still sticking to apropos, facets, and crystal collection, selling everything from logo items to high-end jewelry. And the adjacent bistro is also along for the ride again. Slightly redesigned, but continuing to offer self-serve snacks throughout the day, plus artisanal coffees and other pick-me-ups. The library across the way is mostly unchanged as well, still offering a marvelous selection of traditional hardbound books, among other leather seating, and even the relics of CD listening stations. Wow, remember those? But staying relevant with the latest tunes is the Lux nightclub and its dance floor, where a DJ spins the hits late into the evening, complete with its own well-stocked bar. And the Hollywood Theater is a lovely carryover from the ship's earliest offerings, as a welcome dedicated cinema for screening films or hosting lectures. One surprising omission, at least temporarily, is the lack of a casino on board, but it honestly wasn't too missed. And the simply titled lounge made for a lovely secondary room for non-monetary card and board games, as well as puzzle assembly, as a nice return to basics in the meantime. Of course, the Galaxy Lounge is back, as are Crystal's well-produced stage shows. Not much has really changed here, and the performances are mostly the same as before. But that's just fine to restart, as the Broadway selections still resound with the audience. I've always loved that the hilarious Something Rotten was featured, Among the classics of West Side Story and Rent, all expertly sung and danced by a mix of returning and new cast members. And when the awesome live band gets in on the action for other productions, the entertainment gets even better. And as great as the recycled shows are, I would like to see some fresh ones in the near future. As is the case also at the Starlight Club, a delightfully retro cruise ship venue, retaining its concentric circle popcorn ceiling, hardwood dance floor, and cabaret-style shows. While some revisions to the shows would be nice, there's nothing wrong with keeping most of the timeless standards, from crooners to big bands. And it's always great to see guests invited to the stage following performances. Skirting the club is also Crystal Images, a small camera shop and photo gallery, as well as a display of available portrait sittings across the ship. And while I personally can't stand secondhand smoke of any kind, at least the Connoisseur Club and its cigars are mostly tucked well out of the way and less frequented, such that I never caught a whiff beyond. Far more preferred, however, is the ever-handsome Avenue Saloon next door. For socializing, enjoying more live music, and additional complimentary drinks and canapes, which even extend well after hours with late-night bites. Heading down this marvelous vintage travel-themed hallway leads to the Computer University at Sea, with plenty of terminals to go around, as well as the adjacent studio, although it's not pictured here due to its use as an IT office while I was on board this early sailing back. But the Bright Bridge Lounge, like the vacant casino space, is on hand for other card play. Substantially redesigned from its kitschier past is Prego, now turned Osteria di Ovidio. I hope I'm pronouncing that one right. A much subdued space now for a more traditional Italian dining experience. That is included, but requires reservations. Bread service and an amuse-bouche selection are delicious, as is the updated menu. But keep in mind it has changed quite a bit from before, and it may not be to all tastes accordingly. Nonetheless, I personally adore the tortello pasta here, as well as Milan-style veal. And the sweet dessert was a beautifully composed send-off. By comparison, the returning Umi Uma and Sushi Bar by Nobu are mostly unchanged. From its entry fountain and other stylish decor, to tasty starters of edamame, sashimi, and sushi rolls, before rolling out other favorites like Nobu-style lobster tacos, a refreshing grilled scallop salad, and signature grilled Australian Wagyu beef fillet steak, and its accompanying trio of savory sauces. Really, the only extra cost dining venue on board is the Vintage Room, for special wine-paired meals available for smaller groups looking for the creme de la creme. And up sort of a mezzanine level on the way to Deck 7 is something of a rarity on cruise ships these days. A full wraparound promenade deck that I consider to be a traditional element that makes Symphony even more special. It not only makes for a great looping walking path, but also an uninterrupted observation deck. Then on Deck 7 itself is the single guest room with ocean view that I occupied, the first of two categories I personally tried on board. The teddy bear-approved cabin was one initially configured for double occupancy, but that has now been assigned and redesigned for solo travelers, complete with plush bedding, and every type of electrical outlet and USB charging port, most thankfully at both nightstands. Especially for one, the sitting area is more than ample, as is the vanity desk, perfectly angled to maximize space. And once again with every style of plug, as well as a handy multi-use tablet to access voyage details, such as the itinerary, dining menus, and even on-demand movies to watch. Additional storage extends to a closet with more drawers and hanging area, plus side minibar with refrigerator and lots of glassware. Wall hooks are also plentiful, in the entry hall as well as bathroom, where the door is a little tight to the counter but better opens up to the toilet compartment, an especially larger than expected shower. For an older ship, this is all very well configured. And then on deck 8 is where I occupied a sapphire veranda suite with double the square footage, as also most recently reconfigured. Closet-wise, there's definitely much more walk-in room available here, and plenty of hanging space and other storage for two. But there is one design flaw that keeps drawers from fully opening whenever the door is open. Otherwise, the layout is perfect, extending to a combined vanity desk and minibar area, again with all plug varieties. And there's also a separate dining table, cozy sofa and bonus chair, plus more USB ports and electrical outlets. A large flat panel television is found in the living room, as well as bedroom with similar access to that found on the tablet before. The delineated bedroom is also just as plush, with a tablet of its own and all requisite plugs. This one also comes with a very wide private veranda, with a table and two padded chairs and ottomans. Back inside, the bathroom is particularly lovely, with lots of room around the toilet, dual sink basins, lots of shelving, and a palatial shower with room to go around. A bench, multiple side sprays, and easily the largest rain head I've ever seen on a cruise ship. Oh, and there are just as many hanging hooks in this category as well. Jumping up to deck 11 is yet another one of my favorite traditional cruise ship features, the Palm Court Observation Lounge. This looks much as it did under the previous ownership. A mirrored ceiling makes it appear taller than a single level, and wraparound windows at the front of the ship makes it the most scenic venue on board. Live music can also be found here, as well as exceptional tea time. Besides the usual finger sandwiches and scones are additional sweet treats, extending even to crepe Suzette. No matter your selection, you can't go wrong with these marvelous afternoon snacks and beverages. But taking me way back to my childhood when the ship first launched are the remaining kids' facilities. Fantasia for younger children no longer has a ball pit as it once did in 1995, but it's still a great youth hangout. As is Waves for older kids on the opposite side. I still fondly recall playing arcade games here. And outside is the marvelously teak-clad Seahorse pool deck, complete with classic bandstand and namesake seahorse sculpture, overlooking the pool and its attached oversized jacuzzi. The deck continues farther with additional loungers and shaded tables for alfresco dining, or just inside is the Trident Grill and scoops, the former for hamburgers and such, and the latter for premium gelato, also fully included. And I must say, burgers and accompanying fries are terrific, as is always a scoop of ice cream, especially with so many toppings to choose from. Just yum, am I right? Now that the Magradome enclosed pool has been removed, and the Magradome itself sealed shut, Taste's Kitchen and Bar has been carved out of the former swimming space, where the excellent ship design really shines. Not to mention additional lunch items, ranging from a chicken quesadilla to bespoke pizzas, and its very wide variety of tasting plates available in the evening for dinner. You really can savor seemingly all the flavors of the world here. And truly each and every dish was a standout. But my favorite was this incredibly flavorful salmon. And you can never pass up a creative take on Bananas Foster. Rounding out the culinary options on Symphony is also the Marketplace Buffet astern, with its varied self-serve stations, mirrored on either side, and featuring even more alfresco tables overlooking the back of the ship, as seen here in Santorini, Greece. From salads to soups and sandwiches, and everything in between, there's a great selection to choose from daily. As we head up to deck 12, one of the last things to showcase is the forward stairwell, where traditional polished brass frames a cool display showing off Symphony under construction, as well as the ship's large collection of visitor port plaques. And then just outside is a pair of golf nets, flanking the vessel's builder's plate, where guests can practice their driving swing. Or head farther forward to the observation deck, past the Palm Court skylights, and to even more space to check out the passing scenery of the island of Santorini. Sports aficionados will also appreciate the golf putting green and Wimbledon court for paddle tennis, as well as pickleball, on a full-scale court no less. And behind it all is the Aurora Spa that has been renamed and lightly redesigned. From its outdoor space to the interior fitness room, with wide selection of exercise equipment, plus scenic beauty salon, and refreshed entry. Just pay no attention to the temporary signage before relaxing here before or after body treatments, such as traditional massages and more. The thermal suite is also largely unchanged from before, complete with a welcome dry sauna, convenient shower, and of course a steam room. As for the luxury ship's final pros and cons, what we disliked as pains in the aft are the possibility that loyalists may miss the El Prego menu, a casino is temporarily missing on board, and that theater production shows are mostly recycled from before. But what we most liked and can take a bow are nonetheless the ship's still excellent dining and entertainment, fantastic service from the ever-friendly crew, and marvelously redesigned staterooms and suites. Thanks so much for watching. If you would, as it really does help support us, please like this video with a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel while hitting that bell icon to be notified of new videos. Watch our other ones and visit popularcruising.com.